with disabilities, along with their families, caregivers, and those who support them, to explore MiABLE, because we are extending eligibility for individuals whose disability began before age 46. This change follows recent federal updates to the ABLE eligibility rules, allowing states like Michigan to expand access to more working age adults with disabilities. MiABLE has always been about financial independence, dignity, and the ability to plan ahead. Today, we are celebrating expanding that opportunity to even more people, up to 1 million Michigan residents. MiABLE is Michigan's disability savings program. It's administered by the Michigan Department of Treasury, and it allows eligible individuals to save and invest for disability-related expenses, including things like housing, transportation, education, assistive technology, and health supports, without losing eligibility for critical benefits like Medicaid or supplemental security income. Until now, eligibility was limited to individuals whose disability began before age 26. Beginning this year, MiABLE has extended eligibility to those individuals whose disability began before age 46, doubling the number of people across the state who qualify. This change reflects the simple truth that disability does not follow a timeline. It can happen because of an accident, an illness, a diagnosis, or even a service-related injury that often happens later in adulthood. Our policies should reflect real life, and now they do. This expansion will nearly double the number of people in Michigan who qualify for MiABLE and open the door to financial stability for hundreds of thousands of people across our state. MiABLE is already a national leader, managing nearly $90 million in assets and more than 6,600 accounts, helping families save for their future. But we also know there is tremendous room for growth because many eligible residents still do not know this option exists. It's important to understand that MiABLE is not only for individuals currently receiving public benefits. Many account owners are working, running businesses, supporting their families, and earning their own income. MiABLE provides a way to prepare for disability-related costs without putting future eligibility at risk. Ultimately, MiABLE is not just a financial account. It's a tool for independence, allowing people to make choices, prepare for challenges, and build stability on their own terms. Today, you are going to hear directly from individuals whose lives are impacted by this change. Their stories show why this expansion matters, not just in theory, but in real life. We are fortunate in Michigan to have legislative leaders who understand the importance of independence and inclusion for people with disabilities. One of those leaders is Representative Sharon McDonald. She's the chair of the Michigan Legislative Disability Caucus. Representative McDonald, thank you so much for your stewardship and for being here today.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you to everyone joining us today. As a legislator and chair of the Michigan Legislative Disability Caucus, I spend a great deal of time thinking about how public policy can both create opportunity or unintentionally create barriers for people with disabilities. Financial insecurity is one of the most significant barriers individuals with disabilities face. When people are forced to limit savings in order to preserve essential benefits, it restricts independence and long-term stability. Programs like MiABLE change that dynamic. They allow individuals to save for housing, transportation, education, and everyday needs while maintaining access to critical supports. That is about dignity and self-determination. The expansion reflects a growing understanding that disability can, of course, occur at any stage of life, from illness, injury, or diagnosis, and that financial tools should evolve to match real-world needs. Adults who acquire disabilities later should not be excluded from tools that promote independence. This expansion reflects Michigan's commitment to inclusion by ensuring that policies reflect the realities people live with, not outdated assumptions. In the legislature, we continue working to protect rights and expand opportunities for people with disabilities, whether through workforce participation, accessibility, education, or financial tools like MiABLE. Independence is not just a personal goal, it's good public policy. When people have the ability to plan and save, they're better positioned to fully participate in their communities and our economy. To understand the real world impact of MiABLE, it helps to hear directly from someone who's using the program today to plan for the future with confidence. So it's my pleasure to introduce Aaron Martinuzzi, a MiABLE account owner who will share his story.
Good morning. I'm Aaron Martinuzzi, and the MiABLE account I've had since 2017. It's been a very important part of my life. I'm paralyzed from a diving day accident in 2010 and returned to work in 2014, but needed to stay on my dad's Blue Cross health insurance. To do so, I had to be eligible for Social Security benefits, which meant keeping my assets and savings below $3,000. It was really stressful, and as a working person, I didn't like the idea of spending to stay safe, as it were. Opening a MiABLE account was a major stress reliever because I could put money in the MiABLE account away from Social Security's prying eyes. I work in a different job now with my own group healthcare and a 401k, but I still fund the MiABLE account first because my health isn't guaranteed. If I have to step away from this job and liquidate my 401k so I'm eligible for Medicaid, I can keep the MiABLE account I've been funding for almost 10 years. That money is mine, not my parents or the government's, and will help me stay as independent as possible, making decisions for myself, not at the mercy of the system or the intentions of others. Beyond savings sheltered from the government, MiABLE accounts offer growth opportunities you can't find in normal bank accounts. My personal MiABLE investment profile is pretty aggressive, and I've benefited from when the stock market has been healthy over the last 10 years or so. I had to replace my accessible minivan in 2020, and the untaxed capital gains generated in the MiABLE account were a big help paying off that new vehicle. My 401k and savings account absolutely can't compete with that. Uh, Money can be withdrawn at any time and for a very, very wide range of qualified expenses. Setting up an account takes 15 minutes, and you can realize the benefits with large deposits or small. And anybody else in your life can make tax deductible deposits to your account too. The sooner you start, the better. And if you or someone you know qualifies for a MiABLE account, I encourage you to set one up. Sarah Perez from Linden couldn't join us live today, but recorded a message to share her perspective as an account holder. Let's hear her message, Sarah's message, before Scott wraps things up.
Hi, my name is Sarah Perez, and I'm here to talk about my MiABLE account. I've been living with a disability my whole adult life. I could not save money without losing benefits, and that especially healthcare. I live with increased intracranial hypertension and a bipolar disorder. Medical expenses are part of my daily reality. This affected my sense of self and my independence, and it hurt my potential as a person in so many ways. When MiABLE went into effect in 2016, I opened an account, and it helped build not only my financial health, but also it helped to stabilize some of my chronic conditions more. One of the first things I purchased with my MiABLE account was a computer to edit photography that I love doing, and I was able to take my love of photography and build it and put it into and make money to put into my MiABLE account. This gave me a sense of independence and self-worth I thought was gone. And I was able to build on that success. And in 2018, after seeing and personally experiencing how the MiABLE account can change a person's life, I became an ABLE ambassador for the ABLE National Resource Center in Washington, D.C. I do my best to raise awareness of the MiABLE accounts, especially because I live in Michigan, and also the ABLE Act that went passed in 2014. Everyone should have the resources to everyone should have the resources to live their life as they want to, regardless of living with a disability. The Age Expansion Act is amazing for MiABLE. For so many people living with a disability, especially that started later on in life, you never know when a disability will start. You never know if it's going to get better or when it's going to get worse. And the ability to save, especially for like the working disabled, can add a lot to their lives to save for success and their health. Thank you so much for listening to my journey with MiABLE. And remember, it only takes 20 minutes and $25 to set up, and it can change a person's life, really. It changed mine. Thank you.
That's a great message to close on. Thank you to all of our speakers for sharing your experiences and perspectives today. MiABLE's mission is to empower people with disabilities with a path to economic self-sufficiency and hopefully, ultimately, financial independence without sacrificing essential benefits now or in the future. If you or someone you know may qualify, we encourage you to learn more at michigan.gov/MiABLE and consider opening an account. The best time to start planning and saving is today. Thank you for joining us. If anyone in the media has any questions for either Aaron, Representative McDonald, or myself, please feel free to either type it into chat. I think that's actually the only way that you can do it. So type it into chat and we'll see if we can address your questions. Again, we appreciate you being here today.
Looks like we may have some questions. We're waiting for them to show up in chat, so just hang tight.
Okay, thanks, Rick.
Okay, we have a question here from Robin Erb. If you could type in your affiliation into the chat. From Bridge, Michigan. Robin asks, 1 million, is that the total eligible now, or is that how much it expanded? Scott?
Yeah, that's the total amount of, that's the total amount of eligible individuals that the Social Security Administration has estimated are now eligible for the MiABLE program here in Michigan. Total number, 1 million.
Robin also asked, do you have a sense of how many of those are military veterans? Hey, and can I, when you answer that question, Scott, could you also talk about the different types of people that we now feel will be part of the expansion of the eligibility?
Absolutely. Yes, we understand that this expanded qualification does allow for military veterans to now be included in the ABLE population. We have reached out to the Department of Veterans and Military Affairs to help with outreach. We don't have an exact number about how many eligible individuals out of that million are veterans, but we do know that it includes a lot of people in that population. What we're really excited about with this age expansion is, for the better part of the last 10 years, we've concentrated a lot on parents of individuals with disabilities. And now we can capitalize on individuals who become disabled later in life. someone who has an accident, or even on the job, or someone who becomes disabled in service to our country. We're also doing outreach expansion to organizations that serve individuals who become disabled later in life, whether that's from an accident or a condition that develops later in life, like Lou Gehrig's disease or multiple sclerosis. We understand that this population has in most cases never heard of ABLE accounts. So that's why we're doing outreach events throughout the state of Michigan, trying to educate this new potential population. And all of our outreach materials are available on our website, michigan.gov/myable. In addition to our monthly webinars, we have brochure requests, we have event preparation, we have newsletter that are all available out there for people that can include those types of things in their newsletters. Thank you. Good question.
Yeah, another follow-up from Robin is, you mentioned that Michigan is a national leader. How so? Is that by number of accounts, for example?
Yeah, Michigan was one of the, or is one of the members of the National ABLE Alliance. The National ABLE Alliance is 19 states who came together to create economies of scale. So we've partnered with other states to offer an ABLE program, and Michigan right now is third in the National ABLE Alliance in the total number of accounts and the total dollars under management. So we are a national leader in this program, and we travel throughout the state and throughout the United States talking about the benefits of this program to individuals with disabilities and their families, because we understand it's unfortunate that for generations, this population has been told to stay broke. Don't ever have more than $2,000 or $3,000 to your name, or you'd be ineligible for benefits. Now this population can save, invest, and spend their money on the things they need without losing eligibility for the benefits that they need.
And then there's a question for Aaron as well. Robin wants to know, she says she couldn't hear what you said about your accident. Did you say a diving accident? And can you tell me a bit more?
Yeah, I was injured in a diving accident. It was from a little elevated platform into the shallow end of a pool. Just bad choice and bad luck. I was in medical school. I was 24 years old. And getting back into the working world was kind of it was a gradual experience, right? So initially I wasn't saving a whole lot, but once I had better employment, the opportunity to save more, the account became like more beneficial and more whatever. Just to speak to the expansion though, when I was in inpatient rehab with other folks with spinal cord injuries or other conditions that led to paralysis, I mean, several of the folks that were in there, broke their necks at 35, 41, whatever, right? All these ages where their disability came after they were 26 years old. And that includes like folks that get cancer, right? And are disabled afterward, or strokes, stuff like that. But yeah, kind of a scattershot answer there, but hopefully that's useful.
Okay, any more questions? We'll hang on for another minute or two. If any of the media that's on this call wants to follow up, feel free to contact us. We'll be sending out a press release with additional information probably in about 10 minutes.